he pretty much laying down the stats that there are good brothers out here, whether we're in the home, whether we're stepfathers, whether the house has been split up. We are with our kids. So,
very much so.
My message here is you can find a helpmate to my sisters.
Yes, you can. You just got to be open. Like, I got a girlfriend that's about to be 50, right? And I set her up on online dating, right? Right. It's been an experience. Maybe we got to do a podcast on that because it's to follow her journey because it's hilarious. But like, it was so funny because she called me and she was like, well, how soon do you give your number out? Or how do you do this? And I, just kind of explaining different things to her. And she's like, well, this or this. And I was like, remember, before I set this up, what did I tell you? Right. You have to be open to this experience, right? Like, you have to be open. You have to be willing to try something different, right? Like, don't be so, it has to be this or you have to be open. Now, I'm a firm believer on having your non-negotiables. Right. Boundaries. Right? You should not be dating if you have not defined what your non-negotiables are because you're going to always be wavering somewhere. But once you define that, understand the difference between your non-negotiables and what your preferences are. You about to say something?
You shouldn't be dating if you haven't healed.
So yes, but then also no, right? But let me tell you my yes, right? Okay. Like, I feel like we're never 100% healed because things are still going. There's still trauma that's going to be triggered, right? We don't have control over that, right? But what I say is, you should be healed enough to know what your trauma is, to be able to actually talk to it, right? But you're never going to be like, that's just like, my grandmother has been passed for 27 years and my mom and them still feel a way about it, right? Like, you feel a way about how you feel, but what I'm saying is everyone does not have a specific timeline on how they do things. But if you can speak to it and communicate to your partner, because this is emotional intelligence, and speak to your partner what your traumas are and tell them what your triggers are, then that's different because there are some things you may never get over. You may never get over being raped, unfortunately, or something like that. But if you know what those traumas are that come with it and you get a partner and you can have that dialogue, then that's different.
I cut my finger open trying to cut hot dogs before, frozen hot dogs, right? The scar's still there. Did it heal? Yes. That's the type of healing I'm talking about. Like, the scar is still there. The scar is there. I acknowledge that, right? I ruptured my Achilles. I'm never going to be the same on the right side of my body, right?
Gotcha.
It healed, though. Right. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. No, and that's the problem I think that we all have. Like, the perfect thing that you said was, I said perfect twice, open. You have to be open. What Denzel was talking about is you have to be open to growth, right? Bringing people with you. We talk, and that's essentially what I'm saying in a nutshell for this entire episode is you have to be open to being better, right? There's no, like, stop hustling, start building. And you can't always do that by yourself.
No,
you got to have some type of help to do that.
Yeah, but who wants to do that by themselves?
There's a lot of people who wear it like a badge of honor.
No.
Like, the term single dad, mom shouldn't be a badge of honor. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to do that anyway.
I believe that.
Stop wearing it. Stop wearing it as if that is going to make people think more highly of you.
Right.
Get with somebody.
But so it's funny you say that.
I'm not pushing people to get with, but
I get what you're saying, but it's almost kind of like one of those things where I feel, or what I believe, I should say, rather, that everyone doesn't know, or there's many definitions of a parent, right? So when people, in my opinion, when they wear that as a badge of honor, is because with their definition of, they exceed in that, right? So it's like, okay, and more or less sometimes it's probably because of what they grew up around or what they see or whatever. So it's like, I'm doing all of this in this. So it's like, so because of that, right, because our definitions of things are going to be totally different. Right. So it's like they're wearing it as a badge of honor because of the fact that the things that they got there. I have so many friends that pride themselves on being a great mom. Right. And a lot of the times is because they are, in fact, great moms, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times it's because they compare themselves to their mom.
But, well, my thing is, if you're a great mom, who are you as a woman?
Right.
A lot of quote unquote great moms can't answer that.
Right. Oh, and I truly believe that. Like, and
to my fellas, man, if she's super independent and she don't need you, keep it moving. just keep going, because
there's somebody
that's out there that needs a great guy like yourself. Okay, well, let me say this before I say that. Something I came to a realization actually last year, right, when in my Do Not Disturb cleanse, as I had a moment where I didn't really like my parents. And I'm joking when I say that, but I realized they were people first, and then my parents second, and I had to learn the difference between the two, right? And I'm a big old whopping 36 years old, and it took me a long time to separate the two of my parents. Now, the crazy thing is I did it with other people, but because I had this standard of them being my parents, that I thought they were supposed to do certain things, and it's just like, but that's my definition. What their definition of being a parent is not the same as mine. Right. And coming to terms with that was like a huge eye opener, and accepting them from people, and then as my parent made our relationship better. Like, and I believe that people have a problem with, parents in general have a problem with dividing who they are as a person and who they are as a parent. Is because they wrap themselves up in being a parent. There are some people I know that feel like their purpose is supposed to be a parent. Right. But I disagree. Right. But I also don't have kids. Right. Because I believe that if I'm not a good person, I can't be a good parent. Like, if I don't take care of me, how can I take care of anyone else? Right. Like, but everyone is different. Like, I truly believe that, you get whatever's running over in my cup, not what's in my cup. And just certain people are different in the way they operate. And in that statement, it's not being selfish, like, to being able to make sure that you're good. Because if you make sure that you're good, your kids are going to be great, because they're going to see someone that's happy. They're going to see someone that's healthy. They're going to see someone that's thriving, and they're going to benefit from all of the things that you're pouring into yourself, that you're now able to in turn pour into them. And that's just my personal opinion of just, being able to take care of yourself to make sure that you can be a great parent.